Hello, welcome to this tutorial on data hierarchies. Users can define hierarchies on POI-Mapper from the Hierarchy Editor. To access the Hierarchy Editor, click on Hierarchy Editor on the main menu. The Hierarchy Editor has three sections. The Hierarchy Panel. This is where hierarchies that are saved to the database are displayed. The Workspace area. This is the working area where created hierarchies are displayed. The Attributes panel. This is where hierarchy attributes are displayed. Here, you can define the name of the data hierarchy. This name will be used to identify it from the hierarchy panel. The names of the hierarchy levels can also be defined here. If the hierarchy levels are labeled, the names will be displayed on the forms as placeholder texts on the drop-downs for selecting the data hierarchy. The Hierarchy Editor allows a user to create a hierarchy containing a maximum of 4 levels. These 4 levels usually correspond to the administrative hierarchy of an area. To create a new hierarchy, click on the New Hierarchy button. We shall use this organizational hierarchy chart for 2 suppliers who will be at level 1 of the hierarchy. The sites they supply to will be the second level of the hierarchy. Click on LH in the Workspace area to display the Attributes panel. Here, you can label the data hierarchy. We will name our hierarchy Example Hierarchy 001. To add a first-level node to the hierarchy, click on this plus button on LH. Then click here to expand the node. As you can see, our first-level data hierarchy node is highlighted. Its attributes panel is also displayed. Click here to name it. We will name the first node on the first level of the hierarchy Supplier 1. Just like on the organizational chart. To add the second supplier, click on the plus button on LH. Then click on the new node to display its attributes panel. We will name the second node on the first level of the hierarchy Supplier 2, just like on the organizational chart. To add the supplier sites to Supplier 1, go to the Workspace area and click on the plus button of Supplier 1. Then click here to expand the node. As you can see, the Attributes panel for the second-level data hierarchy node is displayed. We can now name our site Site A. To add another site on the same hierarchy level, click on Supplier 1's plus button. Then click on the new node to display its Attributes panel. We can now name this site Site B. Follow the same procedure to add Site C. To add sites to Supplier 2, we follow the same steps as we did on Supplier 1's node. Data hierarchies can be saved using 2 methods. The first way is by saving locally as an XML file. Our data hierarchy can be saved locally as an XML file to create a local backup copy of the hierarchy, or if internet connection is lost, to avoid losing work done. To save a data hierarchy locally, click the Save to Local File button. You can then open the XML file by clicking Open and selecting the saved XML file from your local folders. The second way is by saving to the database. To save the new data hierarchy to the system's database, click the Save to Database button. You will need to activate the new data hierarchy for the forms in your group. To do so, reload the page and find the newly added hierarchy from the Hierarchy panel. Click on the radio button next to the hierarchy. A confirmation pop-up to change the group data hierarchy to your new hierarchy will be displayed. Click Yes to accept. For a form to display hierarchy questions, you will need to enable hierarchies. Go to the Default tab of a form in the Active Form list in Form Builder. select the Include Hierarchy option that is located under the form name. To make all the hierarchy levels mandatory when users are filling the form, you can choose Level 4 as your lowest mandatory hierarchy level. In our example, we only outlined 2 hierarchy levels. So we can therefore choose Level 2 as our lowest mandatory hierarchy level to make all levels mandatory. If we wanted just Level 1 to be mandatory, we select Level 1 as our lowest mandatory level. In another case, if you had 4 levels and wanted up to only Level 3 to be mandatory, you select Level 3 as your lowest mandatory level, and so on. The final step in adding the hierarchy to our form is to save the changes we made on the form's attributes. Click Save. To see our hierarchies in action, we can open a single instance view of the form from the Data Viewer. As you can see, we can select the suppliers we configured on the Hierarchy Editor. After selecting Supplier 1, a new question is displayed showing the sites belonging to the Supplier 1 as we had configured. We can try again for Supplier 2 and select their sites in the next question. Suppose we find that our supplier has a new site. Users with the appropriate permissions are able to add new data to the active hierarchy from the single instance view. Simply select the supplier and add the new site by typing out the site name here. Then click Add Site D. Finish filling out the form, then save. If we go back to the Hierarchy Editor, reload, then select our hierarchy, then expand the nodes, you can see that the new site was added under Supplier 1's node. By default, you cannot delete saved data hierarchy nodes. When you click the X button against any saved node, the following happens. The node and its children are italicized, and on the Attributes panel of each node, Hide is selected. This means the data hierarchies of the node will not be displayed on the form. To return it, simply unselect Hide and save. For new unsaved nodes, first-level nodes up to the last fourth level can be deleted by clicking on the X button against them. Note that deleting a node results in all the child nodes being deleted too. Click Save to Database to save the delete actions. Users are also able to archive hierarchies. To archive a hierarchy, make sure it is not the active hierarchy for your group. Otherwise, the system will not allow archiving. The active hierarchy usually has the radio button against it selected. You can switch to another hierarchy to remove it as the active hierarchy. To archive, click on the X button next to the hierarchy on the Hierarchy panel. Once data points are associated with a node in the data hierarchy, such as a location, the data can be filtered using the data hierarchy. Go to the Filter menu and you can see the location hierarchy as one filtering method. Select a specific element, for instance Supplier 1, and only data associated with Supplier 1 will be shown in the Feed, Map, Table. Also, when exporting data, for instance, to Excel, only data associated with Supplier 1 will be exported. Similarly, if a report is generated, only data associated with Supplier 1 will be included in the report. Users can be assigned to locations from the admin view. To assign a location to a user, go to the admin view. Find and click on the user name. Scroll down until you see User Location Hierarchies. Select the desired location hierarchy by checking against it. Finally, save the changes by clicking Update. To make sure that users can only see data in the locations they were assigned to, we need to enable one more setting. Go to the group the user belongs to. Then check Users Access Data Only According to the Assigned Locations setting. Save the changes. To see the hierarchy assignment in action, we can log in as the user who we assigned to Supplier 1. Then we go to the Data Viewer. As you can see, the user can only view data for Supplier 1. Even on the filters, they can only filter data hierarchies under Supplier 1. There are no filters for Supplier 2. We can also attempt to fill out a form that has hierarchies enabled. As you can see, the user is only selecting the sites belonging to Supplier 1. They cannot select the supplier. That is because their default is set to Supplier 1. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you require further assistance or have further questions, contact us at support@poimapper.com.